evening to everybody. Before commencing the session, a sincere pronounce to our beloved Guruji, Brahmarshi Patriji, my great salutations to our beloved Grandmaster, Mahavatar Babaji. My dear masters, my dear gods, my dear friends. Yes, today is the wonderful topic which we are trying to understand. So let's discuss about this. To the extent possible, which we understood about this particular topic. So we'll try to discuss. So of course, this is the most, you can say like a most important topic, or we can say the most deeper aspect which we can try to understand. Yes, living without food by Mummadivaram Balayogi. Mummadivaram Balayogi, to brief you about that, about that such a great yogi. So it's such a great phenomenon. So happened on the Earth planet. Yes, Mahavatar Balayogi was a saint, great saint. Especially he was living in Mummadivaram. There's a village, okay, in East Godavari, right? So that's where he was living. And of course, when he lived in that body, right from the age of 15, he started meditation. Of course, he did meditation continuously 39 years. He sat in the meditation at the age of 15, right? And 39 long years, of course, without food, without water, without excretion, without stools passage, without the urine passage. There is no urine passage, there is no stools passage, there is no food, there is no water. Right? So what do we feel when we heard about this? We feel that this is a challenge for the modern science or anything, whatever. It's a miracle. So definitely living without food, right? Living without food is a great miracle. Obviously, because which everybody knows, the science knows, the modern society knows, food is the main input for the body. Without food, water, oxygen, body cannot survive, isn't it? So in the human history, such a phenomenon produced is definitely exceptional, we can say. It's an exceptional. Even sages, saints, philosophers, prophets, they're all no exception to this. In fact, Chanda Yoga Upanishad says, if one should not eat for 10 days, even though he might live. That's what it says. Okay? And yet, what happens is, he becomes non-seer, non-hearer, non-thinker, non-doer, non-understander. Non-understander. But again, by giving the food, he becomes seer, he becomes hearer, he becomes thinker, he becomes perceiver, he becomes understander. That means what? If you don't give the food, what is trying to say? In the Chandogya Upanishad mein, it specifically mentioned that if you don't give the food for 10 days, after which he become a non-doer, he become a non-thinker, he become a non-hearer, that means all the 5 senses stops working. That's what it said, right? Indriyas. 5 indriyas stops working. And again, after started giving food, again they all become active. That's what they say. Again, Pradaranya Upanishad says that life dries up without food. Life, what happened? It dries up without food. That's what it says. Again, Maitri Upanishad, what it says is exactly, right? The life is established upon the food. That's what it is mentioned. You can imagine all these weightful pronouncements which appear to be the food, regarding the food. This is the law of life. This is a law of life. But of course, that is not final in this world. Nothing is final in this world, my dear masters. It is always like we can say like, no, nothing is final and immutable. It can be muted, it can be changed. Similarly, what we are discussing today also, same similar to that one kind of a phenomena happened. Such kind of a the exceptional and miraculous phenomenon happened on this earth planet. That is what we are going to discuss today, right? How come? With the advent of Balayogi, it is proved that life can exist, man can live without taking any food or water. In fact, Lord Balayogi, Bhagavan Balayogi, right? He took the last meal on 21st June 1946. That's the last meal he has taken. About 40 years over, almost continuous meditation of 39 years, he never took any food, isn't it? The question of eating and drinking never arised in his life, right? And of course, so no danger also happened to his life. This is what it is. So, did Lord Balayogi give an explanation for rejecting the food? Of course, he has given wonderful, reasonable explanation to that. In some, in a particular instant of time, he tried to explain that, and he has given a clear, crystal clear explanation to this particular thing and the rationality behind it. He tried to explain it already, right? So, what did he explain? Balayogi, Bhagavan Balayogi, what did he explain about this? Man can survive without taking food. How can he survive without taking food and water? So let's see what he has given the wonderful explanation here. What it says is the senses we have totally, how many senses we have? 11 senses. One is five panchendriyas. Five panchendriyas, that is called five gyanendriyas, we can say. Right? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, all these five. And then there are five karmendriyas. One is mouth, legs, hands, anus, penis. That is laingika. That means whatever sexual organs. Then hands, legs, mouth, all this they are called karmendriyas, isn't it? Now coming to the 11th sense is mind. Like this, there are 11 senses. So all these senses, indriyas, they derive the strength from the food. That's what it says. They are strengthened because of the food. So what happens is, if senses are to be controlled, what need to be done? The food must be reduced or it should be stopped. This is what, who said this? Balayogi. Bhagavan Balayogi said like this. The consequently what happened? Senses can be controlled very well. And then what happened finally? At that point of time, all the five elements, Panchabhutas, will be merged into the soul and they won't bother you and they remain unconscious within you. All these Panchabhutas, my dear friends, all the Panchabhutas, if they are really silent, that means if they are in a stable condition, it won't, you won't get so-called hunger, thirsty, nothing will happen. But what happened most of the time, Panchabhutas will be continuously varying. Whatever Panchabhutas is there outside in the universe, external to us, same Panchabhutas are there within us also. So the moment they are subdued into the soul and they become unconscious, it won't be a problem for you. Especially you won't get thirst or you won't get any kind of a hunger. This is the kind of a message he has given, isn't it? So if so unconscious, then what happened? Food is not required for you, right? So all the indriyas are set down, right? When you sit in the meditation, what happens? All the indriyas almost like, they become set down. So therefore, what happens is at this point of time, so it gives a scope to merge the Jivatma with Paramatma. At this point of time, you get a chance. Okay, there is a scope for merging the Jivatma with the Paramatma. That means individual soul with the supreme soul. Otherwise, it is quite impossible. Understand? So here is, so I mean, whatever he has sent, whatever he has explained here, the complete correlation between the food and senses, and between the senses and Panchabhutas, and between the individual soul with the supreme soul. He has given a complete explanation in this particular paragraph. So-called explanation, the rationale behind why we should stop the food so that all the Panchabhut, all the senses gets controlled. Panchabhutas become silent. Then only you can, that means your individual soul can connect to the supreme soul. Otherwise, it is quite impossible. We keep trying throughout the life. Why do we take so many lives, my dear masters? We take so many lives here on this earth planet because every time we come here, we are stuck with our own senses. We are struck in the, like, we become bandhan, right? Within the senses, within all these 11 senses. So we have no escaping mechanism, or we have no scope to go beyond the senses. They operate us in a very predominant way. They operate with us. Try to understand. So here is one thing is, senses are powerful wires of the body. All your senses are powerful wires of the body, right? In its own place, every sense is a monarch. It doesn't it doesn't compromising it doesn't compromise in fulfilling its own desires. It doesn't compromise. Everything wanted, everything act like a monarch in its own place. Suppose if the tongue knows the taste of particular dish, for example, then what it does, it send a signal to the brain. So it send a signal to the brain demanding the immediate fulfillment of that desire. It won't leave you, isn't it? So imagine, I mean, in many time, every one of us, we face this. Though we don't want to eat, somehow your tongue knows the taste of it because it want to taste. For example, in the current society, 80% people, almost like a majority of the people now, they are eating non-vegetarian. For what sake they are eating the non-vegetarian? It just, their own tongue demands that. The tongue is one of the sense. Out of 5 senses, so tongue is also one of the sense. So that is demanding the taste. Then it is going to send the signal to the brain to fulfill the demand immediately. In that case, how can you go out of this demand? Tell me. The same way, so the other thing, suppose if I sees a beautiful thing, right? It demands nothing but see that without fail. Anything which is beautiful or whatever in front of you, I mean, your eyes won't leave it. It will definitely want to see that. It means they are autocrat, they are monocrat, they are monarch, or they are autocrat in their own style, in their own place. Understood? So they are so much obstructionist for the to the wise. So here is the other thing. Mind is the leader, mind is the boss of all these indriyas. What is mind? Mind is the boss, mind is the leader for all these indriyas. So mind direct all the organs of the physical body through these indriyas. It can control all the organs of the body. All the inputs goes to the mind directly. You understand? All the inputs goes are conveyed to the mind through these all senses. The senses are nothing but like camera. Your eyes are one camera. Your ears, your nose always sense the smell. Your eyes always sense particularly what is sense color, isn't it? Your ears, it sense the sound. Your skin sense the touch. All these, outer sensations, all the outer information is conveyed to your mind through the senses only. But all the senses are again under the control of the mind. That also we need to understand. Now, let us understand this. If at all mind is disconnected from the body, what happens then? For example, whatever the senses are sending the impulses are they are conveying the messages, it goes to mind when mind when it receives, then only it makes difference, isn't it? So whenever it sees a beautiful thing, when do you know that it's a beautiful? When the eye see it and send the signal to the brain, then mind analyzes that, and then okay, it declares that it's a beautiful scenario. It means the sense is conveying, it is received by mind goes to analyze. Mind, analyze that particular input. Now what I do is, I will disconnect the mind from the body. As simple as this. Then I will not have any influence of any senses, all these indriyas, right? So that I have 11 senses what I'm talking about, at least 10 senses, 11th is a mind anyway. I will disconnect my mind with the physical body. Then I have full control. I have no more distractions. No more distractions at all. So that's how it happens, right? So then what will happen is, if we withdraw or disconnect the mind from the body, there will not be any wants of the body. Body wants will be completely diminished. It's very simple. So especially this Annamaya Kosha, the seat of the food, that's a layer of the one of the kosha. Annamaya Kosha is kosha for the food. That won't disturb at all. That will never trouble us. Understand? So the strength of the senses lies in the food we take. In order to neutralize that, right? In order to neutralize that, so particularly the senses, all the senses are disconnected from the mind itself. So Bhagavan Balayogi suggests very clearly, food should be reduced to the minimum. That's what he said. So it should be stopped. So that's how what happens is, here, whatever this your master, your mind is a master, is a boss, right? So that's how what happens is, so it's going to all the indriyas will be under the control of your mind. Once the mind is disconnected from the body, then your Annamaya Kosha will never trouble you. That means, so it's like again more of psychological. You can imagine, right? So if you start programming yourself, you have to eat the food at this time, right? Right time, this time you have to eat the food. So this time you have to eat the water, drink the water, like that. It's all programming. So all these things are completely disconnected from the mind. So mind is focused into the higher consciousness, right? So that's how especially we take the help of the breath. We start focusing on the breath, isn't it? And then slowly, we drift into the higher consciousness, where once we enter into the higher consciousness, we are disconnected from the body. definitely disconnected from the body. Okay, but body, of course, will live. Body will not perish. This also you have to understand. How does it happen? That also let's discuss little bit. So how that particularly it will be able to survive, isn't it? So here what happens is, so as I told you, so indriyas completely all the senses. So they are, they are kept quiet. They are kept quiet, and panchabhutas are unconscious. Then it won't demand, it won't demand anything. You won't get any demand of food or whatever, food or water. So you can survive. But at the same time, so what will happen is when you sit in the meditation, right? When you go into the deep state of meditation and start receiving the cosmic energy. For example, if you take all the trees, right, plants, how they prepare the food by consuming the sunlight. Sunlight is the main source of the energy for the any plant, for example. The plant receives, right, from the ground, so very less nutrients. You understand? Very less nutrients. It's just a soil which supports the like plant for certain minerals, maybe certain minerals. But most of the things it gets it gets from the sunlight. It takes sunlight, it prepares completely everything it prepares inside. Inside itself, it will prepare all its so-called vitamins and the carbohydrates or whatever it may be, proteins, everything it will prepare itself inside. That's how our physical body also, when we sit in the meditation, when we don't supply food or water, nothing, okay, what happens is we receive cosmic energy. It's called prana shakti, right? Everything is stopped, completely stopped. You have gone into the deep state of meditation. The only prana vayu is going slowly. The prana vayu, that means the prana shakti is going inside. Prana shakti is going inside. That is nothing but a cosmic energy only. So that cosmic energy, what is goes inside, with which the body will prepare itself everything what it needs. You know what happened in his 39 years of meditation? You'll surprise his especially this nails were growing, the hairs were growing, the physical body was growing, everything was growing as usual. Here, one thing which it appears that Bhagavan Buddha has got a different experience with this, especially when he was getting enlightened. Before his enlightenment, what happened is he went and sat under the banyan tree, and he was go on meditating, and then without taking food, nothing, he was go on meditating, and he became so lean such that probably he became so lean, and then more like at the verge of the death kind of that kind of situation was there. Then some lady Sujata has she has noticed it, and she said, you take food and then you continue your practice, that will be much better. So then what happened is then he accepted it and he started eating, isn't it? So then after, of course, he continued, and then he got his enlightenment, all that happened. So in his life, it was a different experience. Understand? That is why I told in the beginning itself. So the Bhagwan Balayogi yogi's life, abstaining from the food and water, is the most rarest phenomenon on the earth planet happened. But Bhagwan Balayogi, like throughout his life also, it has never troubled him. In fact, as I told you, his body was growing, everything was as usual normal. There was no difference at all. Understand? So that's how it is. Okay. So that is why. So in his life, the body was growing and there was no restriction, nothing was there. So here, so the how Balayogi is living without food. Can anybody survive without being perished? So if you think about this, there is a concept which we need to understand. Okay, and of course, ignoring the explanation given by Balayogi, people began to question how Balayogi is living without food. They keep questioning, right? So then, in that case, living organisms in the world are broadly divided into two groups. One is autotrophs. Second one is heterotrophs. The two organisms are there. Two organisms are there. Autotrophs are those which are self-nourishing and independent of external foodstuffs. That means they won't depend for outside, any kind of inputs. They prepare the food just like plants. Plants take sunlight and they prepare everything else inside. They won't depend on any other external inputs. Did you see any plant which is even in the hottest sun, even in the forest, there is no care at all from anybody. Still they survive and they grow, isn't it? You can imagine this. You can directly understand this. At the same time, heterotrophs are those which gather the food from external sources. Understand? So that's how these two things are. And then these autotrophs, as I told you, green plants, all this, photosynthetic bacteria, all these things. What they do is they try to synthesize all the structural and synthetic, structural, catalytic, and all the storage materials they needed for growth and maintenance and production. So everything their life requires can be produced from the simplest starting materials. Then what happens is they never they never collect anything from the external world. Okay, but whereas heterotrophic organism, right? So they depend everything from the outside, right? They depend from the outside. So all the whatever they require, they will be taking from outside. They survive only by taking outside inputs. Otherwise, they can't survive. Okay. So that's how it is. So that is why man is a heterotropic product. Understand? So energy is required for doing this muscular work and all its synthetic process. All animal bodies store the energy in the so-called phosphate compounds known as adenosine triphosphate. You know that ATP. Every cell will have that particular ATP is a component within your cell, body cell, that is that. But this ATP is the only source of energy for all living organisms. Understand? So it was proved that all life depend on the energy radiated by the sun. So that means the solar energy, whatever it comes, all the green plants, they depend on the solar energy, right? So basically, all these plants will convert the solar energy into their food. They do very well, right? So in the case of human being, especially in the case of Balayogi, right? The case of Balayogi, what he was taking is the energy is derived, all the whatever his body was preparing, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, everything was prepared by just receiving pranic energy, by just receiving so-called cosmic energy only. So this is how he survived. Understand? So that means, so it is the phenomenon which is proved by Bhagwan Balayogi in his own life. It's the best example for all of us, friends. So we don't need to scare, we don't need to get worried. So many people will, they will try to threaten you or afraid of you, make you afraid of you. That even doctors especially, because doctors doesn't understand this phenomena. This phenomena is never understood by them. They can only understand to the extent of physical body. Beyond physical body, they don't know. They can't analyze or they can't understand. So this is a phenomenon. So it's like receiving the cosmic energy, preparing all the inside, whatever required, carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, all this gets prepared in its within the physical body. Like similarly, how the plant takes sun energy, solar energy, and convert that into all these different nutrients, isn't it? Similarly, we can also do it. So with this today's class, so we all need to understand this properly. We need to understand this. So without these things, you can survive. Even today also, now, in the modern days also, Jasmine, one lady, you search Jasmine, in the internet you search. Nirahara Yogi, that means no food, no water, no stools, no urination, nothing. She is surviving now also. Sometimes she's to come Pyramid Valley and we have also met. So she's the lady. Likewise, so it is possible for all of us, right? You don't need to worry. So it's all about our psychology. Without eating food, I can't survive. Without drinking water, I can't survive. But if you start practicing the conscious living or mindful living, the mindfulness, the conscious living, if you start practicing, slowly, slowly, you will, of course, come out of this. There's no doubt on that. You'll come out of this. You will definitely cross this, so-called barriers. These barriers you definitely cross. And of course, you want to succeed in this own life, single life, and in the same life, you want to get enlightenment. You want to become a great yogi, isn't it? So that's how he went into the tapas. And he also told, before going to, after sitting also, maybe rarely, I think one or two times only he stood. He came up, he came, he came conscious mode and he spoke very few times, one or two times only, I think so. So in his own life history, 2 to 3 times only spoke to the other people. So those people also, you only told to call that persons from the society. So they where they are, like at the age of 14, 15 years, he closed his eyes. He doesn't know who is what. And his family is also lowest, the poorest family. His parents, they are illiterates. They never taught him how to meditate. Even they are not sent him to the school. Imagine. He was a cowboy. Like, he was hoarding cow animals. He used to take to the, forest and here and there. That was the job he was doing. Before he started tapas, one fine day, they all sat together one fine day at the age of 15. One fine day, they all sat together. Night dinner they were taken and they went to the so-called sleep. Exactly at 4 o'clock, he woke up. What inspired him, what happened, all nobody knows. See, that is why, especially in Bhagwan Balayogi life, everything is strange. Everything is a miraculous phenomenon. Miraculous phenomenon. In many cases, you see, Bhagwan Buddha. Of course, he has got a great, emperor. I mean, his father was emperor. He was a king, King Suddhodana, and palace was there. And he has enjoyed everything. And he has got education. Everything is there. He knows, like, at least some of the aspect, some of the practices, there are a lot of teachers around him, all that. He might be knowing about meditation or so-called everything. He also, he went outside and saw some strange situations, one death, one old age and all these things. Then he also got some questionnaire in order to, search for those answers for the questionnaire. He left the palace and then he went into the search of the truth. Here, in the life of Bhagavan Balayogi, right from the birth. He never shown any signals, no signals at all. In especially, of course, Buddha. In Buddha's childhood, one of the other, a astrologer or a master, they came and said to his father and mother, he definitely became a great king or a great yogi. So these were the signs, some kind of a symptoms were there. But in this life, in the Bhagavan Balayogi life, it is something miracle that nobody told anything to the parents. Parents doesn't know anything. They are illiterates. They were like normal people. All of a sudden, that particular night, woke up, took one Krishna photo was there. Krishna photo. One photo he took. Then he went somewhere, outside from the house, like on one almost one parlang. He went outside when there was a coconut tree. At that coconut tree base, he kept that photo, and in front of that, he folded hands, folded legs, sit like this. So he closed his eyes. That's all. Then he never opened his eyes. So many people coming, going. What happened to this boy? Imagine. So of course, after some, in a next instant of some in one of the instant, he told that this is my last life. Don't disturb me. These are my last life on this, especially in the incarnation. This human incarnation is my last life. So I have to do tapas. So not disturb me. Don't give any trouble to me, he told. Because the moment he closed his eyes, and many like people around the village, they won't understand anything. Why this boy is sitting? Some people say that his parents are not treating well to him. They are sending for the work. That's why he got irritated. Because of that, he kept silent. He's not opening his eyes. And everybody, anything. Finally, one of his uncle or somebody, because there is a lot of sunshine, a lot of heat is coming, and he's simply sitting and closing eyes and he's not opening. Then he forcefully lifted him and took him to his house. Then this boy started weeping. Without opening eyes, he started weeping, crying. Then, by seeing to that, even he didn't open the eyes. Then his father constructed a small hut nearby his house. Then he kept him there, some government land. Okay, such a poor people. She kept him they took him and kept him there. And then there also started sitting. No food, no water, so nothing. Hmm? So likewise, then he continued like that. Then many people used to come from different places. You know that, right? In a village and all, it's a strange phenomena. Nobody can, they can't digest or they can't believe it. Many people come and they pray with him. They touch his body. All that they were doing. Then he started slowly. At that point of time, of course, that kind of two, three instants only, he opened his eyes and spoken. He said that, and then by seeing this, especially, his father itself has constructed a small thatched house with the mud walls, at least not to restrict the people. And then after that, even then, when they constructed that much mud house, no, so they wanted to inform this boy to go on to that particular house. In the night itself, this boy is to stand and he go and sit there without knowing anybody. They don't need to tell him at all. See how such a great phenomena is this actually. So they constructed a thatched house. He was sitting there, other place. By next day early morning, he is there in that house. And then they continued. And after that, still people were coming and they were scratching his body, and they were all everything, like a lot of mischievous boys will be coming, like small people and all. They were doing everything. Then one fine day, he has opened his eyes and told, oh, very close devotees, he told, please do favor to me. One, that the door, fix the door at least. Nobody should enter inside. Make sure that nobody enters inside. If anybody want to come, give one particular time, let them come and see me and go. See me from the distance and go. Don't touch me. So like that he requested. One time he opened his eyes and told. The next one other time is, of course, regarding darshan, all this, he was darshan rules also given, and there is a message also is given, like a social message, spiritual message. So this I explained in the earlier classes. So that's how he has opened his eyes and he told, I think two, three times max only he has spoken outside with the outside devotees or whatever. Even particularly he used to say to the one person which is introduced to him in the beginning, he told with him, there is so and so judge is there from so and so Rajamandri, please call him here. Who is judge and how he knows first of all? So he sat in the meditation, he never have any connection. His parents are completely illiterate people. But how come a judge is from so and so place, bring him here? Because he wanted his help, because he wanted to, finally, he wanted to close the door permanently. Nobody should enter. For that, police were not accepting. They were, restricting because there's no food, there's no water. In the beginning, I think one or two times only he has taken little water, milk or whatever, and then the devotees, close devotee, one devotee was, feeling so like concerned. Then he used to keep some milk. He said, "No, nothing doing. All these are not required to me. Okay, take it out." Okay, such a wonderful phenomena. And adding to this, what happened is his father has got two, the first wife, son is this Balayogi. And after the demise of that Ramamma, I think the first wife, expiry of first wife, to look after, there are so many children. Along with Balayogi, there are other six, seven children. Then what happened? To look after that, he married other lady, Venkamma. Venkamma also got one boy, the one boy, that, the first boy. So we call him as a Chinnabala Yogi. He did meditation for 41 years by looking at his brother. At the age of 8, he started. This is something a strange phenomenon. He has done 39 years, and the Chinnamala Yogi, at the age of 8 years, by looking at his brother. See, both are born in the same family. And these boys are not told or not informed by any kind of education. No education, no clue about yoga or dhyana, nothing. That means it's a Purva Janma Samskara, right? They are born for it. And his brother also, by looking at brother, big brother, he continuously meditated for 41 years. The big brother meditated 39 years continuously. He has meditated for 41 years. The just next to him, he was sitting this side, he was sitting the other side. That's all. You can imagine, same again, no food, no water, no stool passage, no urine passage, nothing. They all requested him, at least give some darshan. Don't get locked completely. Give darshan at least once in a year. He used to come, just come and show the face, nothing, no speaking. So to all the devotees at the Sivaratri night, early morning or so, and then they go back again, like that. So this is how the Bala Yogi's life, briefly also I try to explain, friends. It's wonderful. So such a the greatest phenomena today we came to know. We are also so fortunate, and let's have courage. Let's have the greatest confidence, the faith on ourselves. Right? This physical body is that's not a small phenomena. It's a wonderful and the greatest phenomena on this earth planet. Right? We are all living in this physical body. It's not a small thing. Okay. Within this physical body, whatever we are, whatever that I, that self-consciousness, that's the greatest thing with which we can achieve everything, anything on this earth planet. Nothing is impossible, right? We can live without food, we can live without water. In fact, without sleep, just sitting in the meditation, all that is possible. Only thing is, we have to choose which path I want to go. What is your aim of life? What exactly you want to do in this life? It's called purpose of life. What is your purpose of life? You are setting, right? Once your purpose of life is clear to you, then you will travel in that path. You will achieve that without any doubt in the mind. You will definitely achieve it. So with this, I'll be ending the session for today. So thank you so much. Dhanyawad.